All right, so you're ready to record your first podcast. Do you have a microphone? Who's going to distribute for you? Do you have a studio? What about the editing? All right, everyone relax because I think I have the answer. Anchor app. Yeah, Anchor. It's free. They distribute Spotify, Apple, many more. There's creation tools that allow you to edit and create your podcast from your phone, your laptop, or your personal computer. And the best thing of all, girl, you can make money no matter how many listeners you have. So the answer is simple. Get Anchor. Anchor FM app. Go find it now. Tell them a seat at the table sent you. And now I'd like to perform a scene from the cinematographic masterpiece. If you can guess this movie, you might be smarter than a fifth grader. All my life I had to fight. I had to fight my daddy. I had to fight my uncles. I had to fight my brothers. A girl child ain't safe in a family of men. But I ain't never thought I had to fight my own house. Sat in that jail. I sat in that jail till I damn near about to rot to death. I know what it like want to go somewhere and can't. I know what it like want to sing and have it beat out you. I want to thank you, Miss Seeley, for everything you done for me. I remember that day I seen you in the store with Miss Millie. I was feeling real down. I was feeling mighty bad. And when I see you, I know there is a God. I know there is a God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You are tuned in to an all new episode of A Seat at the Table podcast where, listen, if you are pulling up to the table and you think you about to eat, ha ha ha, you might be on the menu. Ha ha, ha ha. I'm your hostess with the mostest, Gail. You guys, what an all-suspicious week it's been. Can we talk? Can we talk? Can we have coffee talk? It's been a really, when I say it's been auspicious, it's been a really great week in terms of, me planning out and having things kind of fall into place. And, one of the things that frightens me the most is when things are going fairly well. It's hard for me because I am always waiting for the proverbial other shoe to drop. But I think the thing that oftentimes kind of keeps me grounded or has been able to keep me grounded in the thought process of, hey, things can go bad or, okay, things are going fairly well. What if, is, I've been to the place where I've lost a bunch of material things or what have you that make you feel like, okay, when this happens, it's the end. But I find a lot of comfort in the nucleus the nucleus of my life, at least, not being, not really hedging my bets on things that have too much of a variable, and it's hard because that's life, the trick of it all is that's life. So when all of these things are happening to you, when, relationship is good, but it's bad. Job is great, but it's not that great. House is nice, but it's not that nice. Got your own place, but can barely afford to, have a life outside of that. Fine as fuck, but ain't got no man or ain't got nobody to love, got kids, but, dad ain't really, whenever it's always, the good with the bad, I think a lot of times we tend to make those things the nucleus. And so when those things shift, they kind of shift the core of our world. So I've been trying to practice relying on the fact that the nucleus of my world is not these things that have variables. Those things are fun to enjoy, but they surround the nucleus of my world, which is my relationship with God. And that's really the only thing that doesn't change. And when it does change, it's not because of him. It's oftentimes because of me. You know, it's because of my focus or lack thereof. It is because of my dedication to the relationship or lack thereof. So yeah, it's been a weird week because I've been like, okay, well, things seem to be okay, but can I trust in the fact that things are okay? And you know, I feel like I can trust in God. I don't know that I can rest my laurels on having a decent job or, you know, having money or looking a particular way, like, because all of that shit could change for me in a heartbeat. Hey, how you doing? What's going on with you? Yeah, you. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Like, I mean, I feel like oftentimes I get on here and I just start going and you know how this show, listen, if you've been a listener to this show for longer than, 2 or 3 episodes, you know that this is how we do. We come in hot and heavy. I talk to you about me. You talk back to me. We have a good time. We smoke a little bit. We drink a little bit. We talk about some current events, yada, yada, yada. We talk about ourselves. Speaking of talking about ourselves. So you guys, how are y'all dating out here in these streets? Because let's be real. It's the fall. We're getting into the 4th quarter of the year. Now, to me, if you're anything like me, I kind of think of it as like June, July, August is a time, right? June, July, August is like, okay, that's a set of months that mean a particular thing, right? It's summertime. It's single, sexy, and free, whatever. So then when you go into September, October, November, December, those last 4 months, it feels like September is often a transitional period for you to get the last 3 months really popping the way you need to. And a lot of people often think of this time as like, all right, let me get somebody to hold me down for the last couple months of the year because it's going to be cold outside and I want someone to fiddle with my kittle, you know what I mean? Nut of my butter, if you will, if that makes any sense, to love me the right way, as Johnny Gill would say, right? But how the fuck are y'all meeting people out here? Can someone tell me? Send me a DM. Do something. How are y'all dating right now? Because number one, I just came back to the gym this week, right? Now, I'm used to seeing a gaggle of fine men's at the gym all the time. It seems like the cuties don't want to work out no more. Yeah, it seems like the cuties aren't really here for the gym anymore. Which is upsetting to me and my homegirls. Where y'all meeting these people at? Can someone just tell me? Because I'm starting to think that your girl is probably going to be single for this season. For this season of the draft. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting red-shirted. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but 2020 has been an interesting year. This week has been quite interesting. A lot of things going on. Not so much things going on. Tonight is a really special night out here in the world, kids. Do you know why? Because the Verzuz battle is bringing us 2 of our favorite aunties of all times. That's right. Gladys Knight and Patti V. LaBelle. Now, these are two would we call them singers? Would we call them performers? Would we call them, because honestly, when you are holding up a candle to even the singers that predate this current generation of girls, so, the Summer Walkers, the girls that you guys like right now, even if you think before then and you go a generation before that and you go to the Keisha Coles and you go to the other girls, and even if you go a generation before that and you go to the Mary Jays and the Faiths, And even if you go a generation before that and you go to the, cause it was such a, when you think about like pop divas, R&B girls that give us something generation by generation, honestly, we've not gotten anything in terms of, well, let me not say that, because I do feel like the girls like Ariana Grande have, sleeves and shirt, or hand and shirt, whatever you want to call her. I think that she is interesting because she's got an amazing voice, but I think that oftentimes the songs that she sings are so skewed to being popular for right now from a beat perspective that I don't think we get to really get into the vocal acrobatic stylings of Ariana Grande. And even if you go over to like a Christina Aguilera, who, you know, if you think of the girls of the TRL days, Christina can sing, you know what I mean? She's a singer. But these girls have nothing. And this is no shade, no tea, but we're talking entertainers of a different caliber. Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight come from a different age of entertainment, right? They come from an age where you could not rely on the things that were happening in the background to entertain your fans. So you couldn't really rely on cute outfits or being popular, sponsored by Fashion Nova. You couldn't rely on, well, Patti LaBelle been dating, you know, Peebo Bryson, so that's why they in the news. You know what I mean? It wasn't that kind of party. These people actually had to sing and perform and, you know, really get out there and shuck and jive with the people. These are different. This is a different caliber. This is a different zone we're getting into. So here's the real meat and potatoes of this shit. Who you got? You got Patti or you got Gladys? Now, me personally speaking, which is the only way that someone can speak is for themselves. I personally believe that Gladys has a more tenured body of work. I think that our generation is perhaps more familiar from a cultural standpoint with Patti LaBelle because you know, your mom or your grandmother or whatever, there were just songs that Patti hit with during a particular time that hit different than maybe what Gladys was hitting with. Now, don't get me wrong. Love Overboard is a bop. Okay? Love overboard, love overboard. Oh, hell, my hell. Love overboard. I'm about to lose my hell. Love overboard. I mean, you know, I don't see the girls walking around singing Midnight Train to Georgia like it's like, you know, a pop hit. But, you know, If Only You Knew, and a lot of the Patti songs have actually been sampled by hip hop a lot lately. So I think that would have a lot to do with the culture's familiarity with Patti. That said, you know, Verzuz is not just about who had the best body of work. It's really just about the songs that you choose. And neck to neck, it could be anything. And you sometimes even forget, like, damn, I forgot you had the pop. So, good luck to the ladies tonight. I have got a really exciting bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. And, you know, did I tell y'all that I think I'm going on a weed fast? Oh, God. All right. So I like to call them tolerance breaks, if you will. But I do think that, like, you know, one of the things that I can't deal with as a person is feeling like anything has gotten control over me. And let me elaborate. I don't like to feel puppeteered. Like, I don't like to feel like my addiction to anything or anyone is what is driving my behavior, you know? And the juxtaposition for that for me as a person is that I have a very addictive behavior pattern. And so for me, that's why it bugs me out to do hard drugs. That's why, like, when I see the girls doing the cocaína, I am intrigued, but also deathly afraid, because